All of the gameplay you're about to see is from Fortnite's Battle Royale in the early access stage. My only experience with this game so far is early access, so please think of this review as an early access review, and I will be happy to give a full review once it's fully released. So Fortnite is arguably the most talked about and most popular game out right now. The developers made it free to play across multiple platforms, and it absolutely blew up. The Battle Royale mode is actually the only one that has been made free to play, but it's gotten so popular and it's been received so well that most people think that this is Fortnite, like Battle Royale is the whole game. So of course I downloaded it and played it myself because I had to figure out what is all of this hype about. So without further ado, let's talk about Fortnite. This game is most commonly described as tower defense / survival. Now, if you're like me, when you hear tower defense, that's an instant turnoff and you're like, I'm out. But let me be the one to tell you that it's not exactly what you think. The gameplay is way more boots on the ground, running around and shooting people than a traditional tower defense game. But you get the added bonus of having the ability that every elementary kid dreams of, being able to craft like you were born and raised in a Minecraft world. The similarities that Minecraft and Fortnite share ends with the crafting and building, but there is one other game that people seem to think of when they see the Battle Royale mode in Fortnite. So as I continue to describe the gameplay, see if there's any other games that come to mind. It's probably only going to take you about 20 seconds. You and 99 other people are placed in the same lobby, and you have to be the last person standing, the top dog, the lone survivor, the alpha male, or alpha female. You can play as both, don't get mad. So all 100 players are placed in the exact same battle bus, which parades over this giant map, and you have to skydive down, find weapons and resources, and try to survive. Did you get it yet? Okay, look, I know you got it, but I wrote out this entire script, so I'm gonna keep going, okay? Each match is timed, and as time goes on, a storm comes, and the only way to not take damage from the storm and inevitably die is to be in the safe zone. Now, as time goes on, the safe zone gets smaller and smaller and smaller, forcing players to all come in close quarters with each other, kill each other, and then eventually, there's one lone survivor that wins the match. By now, you know that I'm talking about the one and only PUBG, otherwise known as its full name, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. And if you didn't know that was the game I was gonna say, you're probably not a gamer. And if you are a gamer and you didn't know that was the game I was gonna say, well, I have news for you. You're not actually a gamer. Just kidding, you're still a gamer. You've just been living under a rock for a few months. There are hundreds of videos out there talking about the differences between PUBG and Fortnite. Okay, not actually hundreds, but there's a lot. So instead of doing that, I'm actually going to talk about Fortnite itself. To put it simply, this game is fun, it's fast, it's action-packed, it's in your face, but you still have to be somewhat stealthy, and it's got this colorful, poppy art style that reminds me of a mix between Borderlands and Team Fortress 2, and for some reason, a splash of Overwatch as well. I know gameplay-wise, people argue that it's identical to PUBG, but honestly, it's way faster and just gets to the point quicker, and I find that a lot more fun. With the game being this popular, it's no surprise that there's so many upsides to it, but this is a review, so I'm gonna go on to the downsides now. Again, I can't stress this enough, but this review is an early access review. As of the day I'm uploading this video, the game is in its closed beta state. That means we still have a long way to go before we get the full release of this game, and hopefully by then, the developers will have addressed most of the issues players have and fixed them. So just based on what I've played, here are my marks against it. This is gonna sound petty, but it bothers me a little bit. The menu and the startup and the user interface of this game is really simplistic. And that can be a great thing when players just wanna get in and play really quick and get to the point, but I don't mean it's just simplistic. I mean like it's sloppily put together with little detail or thought. Gang Beasts, the game, was the same way when it was in early access, so I have no doubt that they're gonna address it, but that's one of my marks. Another thing that irked me a little bit is you can't actually pick the player that you want to be. There's 2 guys and 2 girls and it's randomized every single time, so you never really know the avatar that it's gonna pick for you. Now there's no stat differences or anything, so it doesn't really make a difference, but most players want that choice. I mean, the Battle Royale mode isn't a story-driven part of the game or anything, so why force us to be a certain player? Doing this review, I'm realizing how hard it is not to bring up PUBG, so whatever, let's do it. You know what's a lot of fun that PUBG has that Fortnite doesn't? Vehicles. Seriously, where are the vehicles? That would be a blast, especially in this little cartoony world that you got. The models are in the game, like you can break the cars down and get building materials, so let us just freaking drive one already. This is a negative thing I debated whether or not to put in my review because it's not really the game developer's fault, but this game is really easy. I'm not that amazing of a gamer anymore. I just don't have the time, honestly. I'm more of a casual gamer, and so when I jump on a game like this and get into the top 20, top 10 almost every single time, it's a little bit of a a red flag for me. Like, what's going on? I know I'm not very good because I miss plenty of shots, and I never really have completely won before. I've gotten to like top 3 with a duo. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's gotten so popular and it's been free to play, so it's really just attracted all sorts of players, experienced and inexperienced. And as sad as it is, really, in 2017, it's kind of a bad thing for a game to be easy, so I'm including it in this review. It kind of sucks that it's viewed as a bad thing when a game is easy, because it totally turns people away that are interested in trying video games out, but they're just a little intimidated or overwhelmed by all the controls and difficulty spikes. And come on, we want new people to try it out, right? I mean, you were a noob at one time or another, whether you want to remember that or not. So I'm not going to let it affect the overall score I give in this review, but it's worth bringing up. The last negative I want to talk about is this game is extremely repetitive. Now, that repetitive gameplay is really fun right now, but eventually it's going to get stale. That is unless the developers do something about it. Now, I'm not a developer, so I don't have all the answers, but look at Psyonix. They made Rocket League. This is a very rinse and repeat gameplay, yet they've expanded upon it and kept all of their player base and actually improved to the point where the players love it. Sure, they lost a chunk of the crowd that tried it out when it was popular and then kind of left, but they've actually gained more fans since then, and the game's totally taking off still. I have faith that they can take this repetitive gameplay and enhance it, because these are the same guys that made Gears of War, so they clearly know what they're doing when it comes to video games. I just really hope they don't go down the same route that Ubisoft or Ubisoft did with For Honor. That game got so old so fast, and I was rooting for it so hard, but by Season 3, I just had to sell the game. But whatever, that's a different game entirely, let's not go into that. There's not too much more to say about this game, really, and unfortunately, that's kind of a downside. I mean, there's not much content there, so it's just kind of blech. It's super fun, and you can keep playing it until the cows come home, but I don't know, they gotta add more somehow. I think they will, though. This game was in early access when I played it, and they still have plenty of time until the full release. So I would say definitely go buy this game. You're not gonna get sick of it, at least not for months, because it's some of the most fun I've had in a very, very long time. I'm gonna give Fortnite a 6 out of 10. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a great score, but it hasn't been fully released yet, and there's still a lot that they're probably gonna add and polish up. So when they do that, I'll be happy to review it again. I'm actually rooting for this game quite a bit. I know that the Battle Royale mode isn't the developer's main concern, but I do hope that they pay attention to it because it was received well, and so if they handle this the right way, they're gonna please their entire player base. Chances are, if you clicked on this review, you've already played a little bit of Fortnite's Battle Royale mode, so please tell me in the comments, what did you think of the game? Or sorry, let me rephrase that. What do you think of the game so far? This concludes my review of the Battle Royale mode in Fortnite. Now, I wouldn't blame you if you closed out of the video now, but I do want to try something. If you're still sticking around, tell me in the comments, what do you think about reviewing early access games? I'm really on the fence about it. Like, I'm 50-50. On one hand, this is the whole point of releasing a game in the early access stage so that people can give their feedback or their criticism and the devs can make changes accordingly to better please the player base and have a better finished product. But on the other hand, it just feels almost unfair to critique an unfinished product. It's like going to the set of a movie and then doing a review about the movie before they're even done filming. You haven't given them a chance to edit or do revisions to the script or anything. You're just making judgments without allowing time for true potential to shine through. So seriously, let me know in the comments, because my channel's pretty small, so I think I can keep up with all the comments that will come in, and I want to talk to you guys, really. And lastly, I just want to thank you all for watching, and hopefully it will be soon when I see you guys in the next video.